Thank you so much for tuning in to the Soft Life Sister podcast. I am your host, Zen. I'm so happy to have you here with us. Soft Life is all about embracing self-love through a soft lifestyle. And we are so excited to have the most amazing women and guests with us to kind of share their experiences on how they embrace the soft life as well. Today, we have Bunny Wood, and she is one of my favorite people in the whole wide world. She is a corporate baddie MBA that has transitioned recently into a plus size fashion content creator, and I cannot wait for you to hear her story. Bunny, what would you like to share with everyone about who you are and how you got started?
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you for having me. It's so fun to get to hang out with you in general. And yeah, so it's been a journey. I've been in corporate America my whole life, and it was good in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. And I found as my love for myself grew and I started to become more grounded in who I actually am, the less authentic that corporate world started feeling. So it is a wild time to be having this discussion because I resigned on 2 days ago.
Oh my gosh.
So I am in the midst of the craziness, but I've also never felt better. I've never felt more myself. So I'm excited to share what I've learned along the way, and there will be a lot more to learn also.
I love this so much for you. Like, one of the main things in embracing a soft life is to really hone into what's important to you and how you feel is going to best impact yourself and also the world, and how you can find your purpose. And so with that being said, actually a really quick question I ask everyone that comes on the show: what is your definition of soft life, and how do you feel like that ties into what you're going through right now?
Yes, I think I am at my best self when I am embracing my super feminine energy. I think that is getting closer and closer into who I was meant to become. And that feminine energy to me is soft life. It is receiving. I've never been as comfortable with that. It's easier for me to give and to grind and to hustle. And that's just not working for me anymore. So to the soft life we go.
And that's something that you said that is so important, to embrace just your feminine energy. Like, as women, we're often taught to be givers, and we're the givers. We're constantly giving every part of ourselves. If you're not giving, you're not doing something right.
Yeah, you're selfish.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. But if you don't give to yourself, if you don't find the place to kind of tune into your feminine energy and actually begin to receive, how are you going to receive anything from the universe? How are you going to begin to manifest the things that you want? Like, it's important to take that step back and just start really understanding how important your feminine energy is. And I love that you're embracing this in everything you do. I love everything about like your content and on Instagram, especially. It's pink. It's very girly. It's very soft. What kind of made you, or why did you kind of choose that path in creating this beautiful like aesthetic for you as a content creator?
Yes. So right from the beginning, when I decided to see if I could be successful at all in social media, I knew that I wanted to be authentically 100% myself at all costs. That was a non-negotiable. So I show up as exactly who I am that day. I don't batch. Now, this is not something you're supposed to do. I do everything incorrectly. I do not batch content. I do not plan things in advance, because I put out there on that day at that time exactly how I'm feeling, how I'm doing, what the vibe is, and that's it. So the pink aesthetic and the girly stuff, that's me 100%. It's what makes me happy. So the people who it makes them happy also, follow me, and we are a really fun community, and people who don't love it, that's okay. There's a million other people to follow.
Absolutely. I love it. I think it's so beautiful. I think everything that you post, like it's one thing to be right on brand. It's another thing to invoke like joy and happiness in people when they get to see, the things that you do. And I think that's amazing. I do have another question for you though. So in the beginning, because like you said, there is some people it may not be for them, and that's okay. In the beginning, was it hard to kind of embrace self-love if you felt any type of negative energy or that people didn't really understand where you're coming from?
It was definitely interesting. Like, it is wild the things that people will put in comments, but honestly, thank you for the engagement. Like, really, I think for me, I decided early on that if anyone is in my comments or DMs that says, really rude things, I have compassion for them because they're projecting fear and hurt. It has nothing to do with me. Now, you don't have to tolerate it. I block, bless, and release every person who's not acting correctly, because I want to protect my community and only have like cute, fun, positive, people in that space. But at first, it was wild. But I think it also just made me want to double down that much more. And, being a plus size girly, that brings a whole different layer to putting yourself on the internet, but it makes me want to show up as my full self because I'm going to get emotional.
I love this.
It's important for me to show plus size girlies having fun, doing what I do, being confident, loving life, doing every single activity that a straight size girly would do, because not every plus size girl or woman feels that way. And I've had people tell me I'm like their permission slip. Like, oh, I can go to the pool. Of course yes, girl, go to the pool. Here's some swimsuits that are going to make you look absolutely snatched to the gods, honey. And so it makes me want to be my full self that much more, knowing that I want to be there for those women until they get there on their own journey.
I love that. And this is part of the reason why I brought you on for this particular episode, Embracing Self-Love, is because I love the way you love you. That is so important. And that's what people need to see. It's great to have the ideal of self-love, but to really embrace it, to sit with yourself, to understand I may have flaws here, I may have flaws there, but this is who I am and I love who I am is so extremely important. And I want to know, what are some of the key things you thought of that really helped you embrace self-love in your journey?
Yeah, there's a few things that really kicked it off. So I went to a conference that the Junior League of Nashville put on. It's called Summit. And they had Elizabeth Donaldson as their keynote speaker. And I was scribbling down every single thing she said. But what stuck with me, and I still think about it a lot, is your self-love is your self-worth. Your self-worth is equal to the amount that you invest in yourself. And I had never thought about worthiness as an action. It felt like something that you can just think about and love yourself. But when she said that, it made me realize that if I say I love myself, which I do, then I need to back that up with action. And the action is investing in myself. And that's what also kind of flipped the switch in my mind of, if I am burnt out from being in this cubicle all day and giving to everyone other than myself, I'm not investing in myself. So I'm saying that I feel worthy, but I'm not really acting like it.
Absolutely.
It was a tough love conversation. I hurt my own feelings, as I often do, but that's okay. So once I was on that journey, I started saying no more as a recovering people pleaser. I mean, that was not easy to do.
I understand as well.
It's so hard, but that's really what kind of set me on my real journey of self-love. And I've developed a few techniques along the way, if you want to hear about it.
I definitely want to hear about those techniques, but I do want to go back to something that you said.
Yeah.
I think I understand, but can you elaborate on, you hurt your own feelings? Elaborate on what that means, please.
Yeah, so I was forcing myself to take accountability for saying one thing, mostly to myself, and acting in a different way. Being someone who authenticity is so important for me as a person, it stung a little bit to come to the realization that there was a part of me that wasn't aligned.
Yeah.
But when I made that realization, this is a part of self-love. I didn't beat myself up. I didn't call myself a fraud. I wasn't hard on myself. I treated myself with compassion and said, oh, okay, we're learning.
Yes.
We're growing. And now I can make adjustments. Now I'm going to start investing in myself more. That's what I did.
That compassion. I think a lot of people struggle with understanding compassion for ourselves. Like, we can give compassion to everyone else. That friend that did us dirty and we're like, oh, but they were going through a breakup, or, a parent that went through certain things. And it takes time for us to get to a place where we understand compassion for other people. But when we have compassion for ourselves, we can recognize, okay, I didn't do this today, but I can do it tomorrow. I may not feel just up to par today, but tomorrow I can figure it out. Like, that little bit of compassion goes a long way, along with just being consistent about believing in yourself. And I think that is some of the most beautiful things that we can do to just even start a soft life journey, or start realizing how important self-love is. Now, I want to hear about these techniques.
Yes, that is a perfect segue too, because I think something that is fundamental that I don't know if I hear about that much, but this is something that has been an absolute game changer for me. And that is self-talk.
Yeah.
Really making sure that first thing, you're just going to notice it, and don't judge yourself for not having positive self-talk, because that's not being nice to yourself.
Right.
So just notice it. And then second, when you notice that you're being hard on yourself, if you wouldn't say it to a friend, don't say it to yourself.
Absolutely.
So you're going to notice it. And then even if it doesn't feel natural, you're going to just flip it and say, actually, no, that's okay. I'm learning. I'm doing my best. And keep doing that every time you come across, you hear yourself being kind of mean to yourself.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, you'll turn around and you hear yourself speak, to yourself in such a kind, loving way. And I talk to myself like I am the sweetest little girly who is trying her best. And
As
that
you should.
means something to me, because I always have my back. And it's really important. And then the second step that I am working on is what you said, which is, and believing in yourself.
Yeah.
So that's where I am on my journey. I am so nice to myself. I'm compassionate. I give myself all the grace in the world. Next step, believing in myself, which I do, but it's different to believe in yourself up here and to believe in yourself in your heart.
Yeah.
That's the next step of my journey.
And that is something that does take time, because I know in believing in yourself, it's one thing to believe, like, it's easy to believe in someone else. Like, oh, I can see your potential.
Yeah.
I can see where you're going. Like, oh my gosh, girl, you're doing great. But to believe in yourself, it's to see your flaws, understand you have them, but also see all of the great things about yourself at the same time, and understand those great things can be perfected with time if you just consistently continue to work on them. And I like to tell people, it's not about like, oh yeah, because when I get to this place, I know you already have a large following that is amazing, but I don't know if you feel like, oh, when I get to 100,000 followers, I'll be here. No, it's you're going to become that person that can handle 100,000 followers through the journey. And every single day, you're going to learn something new. You're going to become a better version of yourself. And it's just going to be such a beautiful, like, display of Bunny that you can't even imagine right now. But I think that in believing in yourself, you have a little bit of faith that I will be the version of myself that I want to be. And I think that part, is extremely important as well. I do have another question about self-love, though. You take great care of yourself. You make sure that your makeup is done, you get your hair done, your lashes, we talked about that today. Yeah. What are some of the things you do daily to remind yourself to embrace self-love?
Yeah, so daily, like I said, number one is making sure that I'm talking to myself in a cute way. But you're right. I treat these beauty appointments and rituals. They're kind of sacred to me because it's time that I have for myself. Mm-hmm. I wake up so much earlier than I need to because by morning time where I kind of do nothing except wander around my house, make some coffee, wander around some more. What do I want to wear? I don't know. That morning time to do whatever I want it can take me 3 hours to get ready, but it's because, all right, let me blow dry my hair. Oh, look at this over here. That's fun. I give myself that it's my beauty time, but it's also my kind of like playtime.
I love
it's
that.
where I'm my most creative. I have my best ideas in the morning when I'm throwing on a little eye, and it just comes to me because I don't have any expectations of myself in those moments. I'm just being me with no one watching, unless I'm videoing. But even then, it's really still just me,
right?
So that time, that is my ritual of self-love. And, everyone chooses to spend their money in their own way. And for me, once my bills are paid, it is nails done, lashes, like you said, hair, facial, me and my injector are best friends. We get the Botox, filler, they do it. I want it in my face. So that is a way that I take care of myself because again, it's me time. The relationships that you have with the people who do these services, they become your great friends.
Yeah, my nail tech, we have such a great relationship.
Yeah, exactly. You know that you laugh with them. They know everything about you and more. So those, but then I also have my kind of services that are therapy.
Yeah.
That's a game changer. And I am a spiritual girly. So like the other week I had my chakras rebalanced.
Yeah.
I'm happy to report that they're doing pretty well. We have room for growth, but they're kind of like doing their thing.
It's perfect to know.
They're doing good. I have tarot cards read. My best friend's an astrologer. So I like to kind of round out my wellness with the outside and the physical, and then the internal, spiritual as well.
And I think that's great as far as balance. I know in the beginning of everyone hearing about Soft Life, it was all about getting expensive gifts and doing things that, going to expensive restaurants or, some type of exotic thing like that. But the truth of a great Soft Life is to have balance in spiritual growth and physical appearance where you feel good about the way you look and just really being able to embrace like the whole part of being a wonderful, beautiful, feminine human being. And I think you really knocked that out of the ballpark by taking care of yourself the way you do. And I think it's such a beautiful thing.
Oh, thank you. Something you said kind of made me think too, Soft Life has to be what it is for you. It's not something that you see. I mean, people can make Soft Life on Instagram look so glamorous and amazing, but it doesn't mean that doing those exact activities are going to be what fills your cup.
Absolutely.
If you hate being in noisy spaces with a lot going on, then going to an amazing, fun, live music situation that's not soft life to you.
Right, at all.
That's stressed out life, you know? So, I think it's amazing to have inspiration, and I love sharing what, you know, that soft life looks like for me, but it's important to remember that it is completely just about the individual.
I agree. I agree so much. And I love the fact that you brought up social media, because that's another question I want to ask you about, because social media can be so crazy and toxic sometimes. How are you able to maintain like a positive like vibe and feeling about posting and being such a person for people to look up to when sometimes those negative things can be said?
Yeah, I I do what I want. That is my something that I stay true always. I'm going to do what I want. I break the rules in terms of this is how you should be a content. The things I get in my inbox, here are 9 ways to da da da. That's okay. I can't do that right now.
Yeah.
I'm positive on Instagram because I am feeling positive and happy in real life. So I think that is in terms of like what I put out there.
Yeah.
But then a big part of social media for me is also what I am, the input for me. So I protect my feed at all costs, because if I'm scrolling and I notice that there's a particular account that every time I see it, let's say it makes me feel bad about myself, I feel inadequate, it makes me feel any type of way other than happy and inspired, I will, if they're a friend, we'll just mute it. But if they're a stranger, just unfollow them. If anyone anywhere near your feed is making you feel anything other than happy, inspired, educated, enlightened, run to the unfollow button, because this is your social media is just an extension of our lives at this point. You have
Absolutely.
to protect what you're seeing. So that's really big for me too. When I'm interacting with people, it's people in the community who I love and are fun, and that really fills me up.
I love that. I'm definitely a fan of protecting your feed, because you don't even pay attention sometimes to some of that negative energy. That's just, something you may see as like, oh, but you constantly see those things over and over again. It begins to affect you. So I believe that it's so important to protect everything you're seeing, you're hearing, so that it keeps you in the right headspace, honestly.
Yeah.
I do want to go back and touch on something, because our soft life tip for today is about a morning routine. And I love the fact that you brought up your morning routine.
My unhinged morning routine that makes no sense at all. It is.
No, but it's great, because it's also to another point that you said about being able to have your soft life kind of contoured or tailored to what you enjoy. For me, when I get up in the morning, I like to have a cup of tea, I journal, I may work out, like I do these different, and I meditate. I do these different things to keep me grounded. But I love your morning routine. Like, listen, I'm just going to do whatever I feel this morning and have the time to do it. I think that's the most important thing, because you're not jumping up and rushing and running out the door. You're giving yourself the space to feel the way, to feel love, to feel, seen, to feel like, okay, I can kind of do what I want to do today. So what do you think more about that, a morning routine in your soft life journey?
Yeah, I think it's really important. And for me, my time is pretty much my own. I'm single, not to brag. I don't have, any kids or anything. So I kind of already have the luxury of free time. But especially for people who, have other people in the house, a lot of times the morning is kind of the only time you have.
Absolutely.
So just like you're protecting your feed, you're protecting your mornings.
Yes.
Put a boundary.
Yes.
It's worth it. The kids will be fine. Granny will be fine.
Yes.
This is my time. They've just got to learn, because it's important how you start the day.
I agree.
And yeah, for me, if I feel rushed, so this is an example of know thyself.
Yes.
So I know myself, and if I feel rushed, I'm all frazzled. I don't want to feel frazzled. I want to
Throughout the
feel
whole day?
through a whole day. I
Yeah,
don't want to
that's a
feel like
lot.
that. I want to feel cute and easy breezy because that's who I am at my best self. So that's how
Yeah.
I want to be. So that's how I start my mornings. Now, does it go according to plan every day? Not necessarily,
It normally doesn't go as planned,
but it's the goal.
Right.
And that's what matters.
that is exactly what matters. Now, I do want to talk about this transition and the new things that you're going to have going on in your life and
Yes.
business-wise. Can you talk a little bit more about those things?
Yes, I would love to share. So this is absolutely hot off the press. I'm telling you, like you, Zen, I mean, you're maybe the third person I've
Oh my
told
gosh.
this.
I love it.
So this is a secret between me and you and all of your listeners. Okay, we're just keeping a little secret. So part of what I'm launching is taking what I've learned in doing photo shoots
Yes.
for social media and sharing that with other people. I have a really cute name, but I'm not going to share it yet.
Understood.
But everything you could ever want to know about it is at Hi Honey It's Bunny. That's my Instagram. HiHoneyIt'sBunny.com. It's my website. So everything you can find there, but be ready to be inspired, encouraged, get silly. The things I put on my stories are absolutely unhinged.
I love it, though.
100%. Sometimes I have potentially a glass of wine more than I should and start saying silly things, but that's just a part of the bunny experience, baby.
And
But
that's
I'm
perfect.
excited to share more as I get further along in the business. But
And
it's going to be amazing. It's going to be a party.
I know it will be. I'm so glad you're able to share that today. Like, I'm just so excited for you. I'm literally like, this is amazing. This is amazing. And I don't even think you understand now. And probably 2 months from now, you're going to be like, this is amazing. And then three months from that and 3 years, from every single step, because you're putting yourself first. And it's just going to continue to prosper. And I'm so excited for you and wishing you so much luck and love and peace and joy and all of the good stuff.
Oh, thank
With
you
everything that you're
so
going
much.
through.
That means so much to me, and you're going to be along for the ride, honey,
I know,
every
I'm
step
so
of the way.
excited. And now, you did say your Instagram and your website. Is any other places that we can find you online if we want to get in touch with you?
Yeah, so that is the best way. Your girl is on Instagram always. So yeah, Hi Honey It's Bunny, HiHoneyItsBunny. That's where I am, and I would love to meet some of y'all. If y'all are listening to this, send me a DM. Tell me what soft life is looking like for you, and join the
Absolutely.
bunny fam, honey. It's a party. She's wild. She's not always predictable, but always a fun time. And there will be pink.
Always pink, because I love pink, my favorite color. So thank you again. I'm so happy you were here today. I'm so happy just in general that I'm able to call you friend. We have some good times.
Yes.
And it's good to also do some business things together
right.
as well. And so, guys, just continue to embrace the soft life journey. We will have additional guests to just help you along in every aspect of the soft life movement. And I do want to remind you guys, if you would like to be a part of the Luxury with Friends event, that's going to be on September 29th. We're so excited for that with St. Laurent. Please send a quick message to hello@lovepeacein.com, and we'll make sure to put you on the list because it is an invite only situation.
Okay.
VIP,
Okay,
baby.
VIP. Yes, honey.
But thank you again, guys, for being a part of the Soft Life journey. We love you. We appreciate you. And as always, be soft, sis.